One drug trafficker, I recall, an IRS levied a $500,000 levy on his tax for that particular year. And without the permission of his attorney, he showed up at the IRS office with an attaché case and asked to speak to the agent.
He's got working for him, his lawyers, his accountants and all. And so they were paying the tax anyway. The feds hit him with a tax assessment that, you know, they calculated that he filed that he made $500,000, I think, in '73, or maybe he may have been filed that he made a little bit more. I think my dad filed that he made $400,000. They always paid their taxes. Anyway, when the numbers all got crunched, the IRS put a lien on his property because they said he owed them $400,000 in taxes. And the day that Eddie received the letter from the IRS saying that he was in default of a $400,000 judgment, despite of the advice of his lawyers and accountants that he should just engage in a payment plan and take care of that $400,000 over the course of a year. Eddie, being the kind of guy he was, would just have no part of it. He called my father, told my father to go get $400,000, get a $400,000 certified check and go give them MFs that money, and you tell them to have that MF and lien off my house by the morning. And my father, who at the time I was his, Eddie's chief lieutenant and the collector of the operations funds, we used to keep $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 around the house when I was growing up. He went and took the $400,000 and he went to the bank and got a cashier's check for $400,000. Met up with their accountant, I believe that's Mr. Cohen at the time, and him and Mr. Cohen went down to the IRS building and paid him $400,000 within 12 hours of them being informed that they owed $400,000.
Off that $500,000 levy in cash. And consequently, what IRS did was turned around and levied a $1.5 million tax levy on this subject.
So literally the call came, the letter was read at 9 in the morning. By the end of business that day, they paid the $400,000. Cashier's check.
Mr. Brown and Mr. Jackson have paid better than $450,000 in income tax. I think that's more than some of the corporations, Shell, Atlantic Richfield, and a few of the others. Now, for Mr. Leff, who's in charge of the task force to try this case in the newspaper and get the public sentiment against these two gentlemen, I think that's reprehensible. Mr. Jackson has legitimate income on which he pays income tax. That's more than can be said for a whole lot of folks.
Mr. Jackson, it's alleged that just 6 years ago you were earning a little better than $3 an hour as an auto production worker. Just how did you come to acquire this home in Southfield and your other business interests, your automobiles?